Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you.
The link. Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television. Today, we are going to do things differently. Today, we are going to begin by issuing a statement to the United Nations Security Council regarding the situation in Sudan and Darfur. Today is a great day for me that the Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court, the new Chief Prosecutor, Mr. A.A. Karim Khan, will issue a statement to the United Nations Security Council, briefing the United Nations Security Council on the situation of Sudan and in the situation of Darfur in a case that was investigated in 2005 or 2006. Between 2005 and 2006, the International Criminal Court, under the auspices of Luis Moreno Campo and Fatou Bensouda, decided to indict and ask the United Nations Security Council to indict, to seek, arrest General Bashir and 4 others. From that time to today, which was the second case in the International Criminal Court, the first case having been the case in Uganda between the Chief Prosecutor and the 5 commanders of the Lord Resistance Army, of which the Chief Prosecutor went to Uganda, collected the evidence on all sides, decided to parade evidence on one side. Today again, the new Chief Prosecutor has no blame. And I want to make it categorically clear that the new Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court was not a party to the obnoxious, malicious, fake, cooked, procured witnesses, evidence on the question of Sudan. I would like the United Nations Security Council today, as they sit to listen to the Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court, my good friend A.A. Karim Khan, to hear and reject his appeal for any renewal of investigations until a commission of inquiry, a public commission of inquiry, international independent public commission of inquiry is set up to find out the pattern of deceit, the pattern of witnesses flowed with evidence, the pattern of corruption, the pattern of all abuse of offices of the chief prosecutor, officers of investigators, that was used in collecting witnesses, the transfer of witnesses from Darfur to Jamena, to Cairo, to Djibouti, and the far places for the purposes of procuring evidence and getting evidence which was fake to place claims on the people that they indicted. I want to add and hasten to add that the International Criminal Court is a good court for international jurisdiction. I respect the court, but I don't respect the manner in which the International Criminal Court has investigated the cases of Africa, where Africa and Africans have been dragged. 90% of the court has African cases. I want to state that I would support a court because I was there in 1998 with Kofi Annan and the rest of African people in Rome when there was a formation of International Criminal Court in the Italian capital, Rome. At that moment, I did not envisage that at a certain time, the chief prosecutor of International Criminal Court by then, Mr. Louis Morone Ocampo, and the deputy, Fatou Bensouda, would turn this court into a political witch hunt, would be used by countries, namely United States of America, a member of the United Nations Permanent Security Council, to France, a member of the United Nations Security Council, permanent member, to which hunt the African continent, thereby placing African continent at the crossroads of conflicts that we have seen ranging from Libya, Central African Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda. Should I go on? Uganda, Burundi, Kenya. The conflicts that we saw as a result of flawed, fake, cloned, use any word that you want to say, evidence, procured evidence, created conflicts and continue to create conflicts. Sudan, in Darfur, today. The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court today, comrade, as you sit in the New York, as you sleep in the New York hotel, you are presenting a case against something that you did not investigate. Wash your hands away and allow Mr. Louis Moreno Ocampo to be brought to book to justice with Fatou Bensouda of why they corrupted, they procured, they flawed, they abused the office while investigating most of the African cases. My point here is very clear. The world might not be seeing what I'm seeing. If we were 70 years ago, we are still hunting down. We are still hunting down the members of the Nazi group that killed, that maimed the Jews. Why have we left Mr. Moreno Ocampo to walk free with Fatou Bensouda to enjoy the packages of retirement when they bungled, created conflicts in Africa? The most important thing about the statement, I'm reading this, I'm saying this from off hook because I have a statement of 21 pages. 21 pages, well researched. And let the chief prosecutor look at my English like his English. We went to the same school. Let's see. Let the Security Council see the difference between a cooked, fraudulent applications that are used on African countries. And I will stand for my continent. I am going to state, and I have stated in my statement, and which is going to be circulated after the Secretary General wakes up in the morning to receive it from my partner, a friend, my colleague, my lawyer in the United Nations today. My statement is based on facts that were there and on facts that continue to be there and on the facts that are prevailing now. It is for this statement and it is for this that I stand for Africa. Fellow Africans, why is it that 90% of the population of our nations are the only ones that are in court? Why is it that it is our leaders who are in court? When Mr. Tony Blair faked a document, a dossier, to kill people in Iraq, when Mr. Sarkozy forged documents and said Muammar Gaddafi had nuclear weapons to destroy Libya, when they let Colin Powell, the then Secretary of State for America, stood up and told us that there were arms of mass destruction in Iraq. How many of you have seen these mass destruction arms spared, collected, stored? Where? My question goes to the international community. Where are these arms today? Who collected them? Is it the United Nations? Dr. Guterres, Dr. Guterres, my dear great friend, we met in Khartoum. You remember me very well. I am now asking you, and look at this face. Where are those arms, sir? Are they present? They destroyed? What has happened? Who has arrested Tony Blair? Is there any court where Tony Blair has been taken, flown and charged with the mass destruction of genocide that took place in Iraq? Is there any court that has taken President Bush for ordering troops into Iraq. You are members of the United Nations Security Council seated today, listening to molest an African country. You are molesting an African country which could benefit the African people, which could liberate its people, could bring the food on the table for its people. And yet you have left the criminals who ordered for the slaughter of millions of people in Iraq. Is there a double standard for Africa and Europe and the Europeans? Which brings me to another question. Under Article 98 of the Rome Statute, which I can recite and Tony Blair cannot recite like I do, it's very clear that America decided not to ratify the treaty. Why should you not ratify the treaty and then come to police us to take our leaders to the ICC? That's pained me. If others are not pained and are in comfort, I am not in comfort. I'm sorry. I am not in comfort. You can become in comfort, but not Dr. Matsanga. I am not yet in comfort with reasons of the subject that I studied of political science and international relations in the Queen's University, paid by the Queen's money, that you took. You withdrew from Article 98 of the Rome Statute, and you want Africans, because you are stupid, to draw our leaders and take them to Article 98 to be slaughtered and jailed in the ICC. Show me rationale. Show me I'm not PLO Lumumba. I'm practical. I studied the subject of international law. It's very clear that in international law, there is nowhere where you force an international, a body that has not assigned your documents, that has not assented to your jurisdiction. You bring it by force, order by force, yet you have yourself exempted from the same treaty under Article 98. Which lawyer is this who is stupid, who will look at you and you take others to be stupid? The ICC, therefore, stands as a barrier against most African countries. If you look at the cases of Africa today, from Libya today, look at the side that has been indicted. Libya, the children of Muammar Gaddafi. But there's no side of the terrorists who came to occupy Tripoli, took away Muammar Gaddafi, who was elected by the people of Libya. Is that a democracy? Is that what we call the Plateau Republic? Show me in the Plateau Republic which says an elected leader should be taken out and the terrorists should take over the place. The leaders in Tripoli are terrorists. They have divided the Libyan territory into two, helped by the French and the French mercenaries who are drilling the oil at night, taking the crude oil of Libya, stealing it like a cheap thieves, and calling themselves a superpower seated on the United Nations General. What is it this? A country stealing oil at night, a country drilling oil from Libya at night called France, which you people fly to see, to talk. How do we talk about a country stealing oil in tankers, taking it back to Paris, and you call Africans stupid? When we come near Mediterranean Sea, you call us stupid, you throw us away. You airlift us out of Europe, send us to dungeons of African dictatorship. Today, you refuse in Article 98, and then you allow other people to be charged under Article 98. The question to you, those watching me, those who will keep picking this clip, remember my voice. Why did America choose not to ratify the treaty? And why does America then tell the rest of us, police the rest of us, crowd the rest of us, put sanctions on us when we don't go to the ICC? Are we double? Are we minor in blood? Is our blood yellow? Is the blood yellow? Tell me. Anybody there who is sensible, any leader in Africa who is listening to my speech, is our blood yellow? Why should we sit down and the chief prosecutor is not part of them? He's not part of the people. And I want to make it very clear to some people, malcontents, who create and change words. I am saying to you, malcontents, that Karim Khan is not part of the scheme that derailed African cases. The scheme was done by Luis Moreno Ocampo and Fatou Bensouda, Mr. President of the United Nations Security Council currently, the Secretary General Guterres. This 21-page letter, hope will find you in good faith. You are going to read it soon, all of you. This 21-page letter explains the situation of Darfur, explains the situation of Sudan. I would like to ask a few questions to you, Mr. Secretary General. When did you realize that sanctions should be removed from Sudan? 2, how did the sanctions link themselves to the production of Mr. General Omar Bashir? Why should America link the sanctions to General Bashir? What has it got to do with the sanctions that you continue extending and are using it as a blackmail against the government in Khartoum, that if you don't hand in General Omar Bashir, you will be sanctioned forever? I want the Secretary General to explain who gave him the powers to turn the ICC into the watchdog used by Americans to watchdog us when they cannot sign to ratify that one American should be taken to stand trial in the ICC. Point number 3 also on the same, the question of Israel. And here is a bombshell. Double standards. I'm trying to show you the world. You don't worry. I'm not professors who talk. I'm not going to talk. I'm a small man, a layman who studied the subject very nicely in the University of the Queen in London, and I passed it. And I'm here ready to challenge anyone to tell me the rationale as to why you can charge certain countries, and when it comes to certain countries, you say you abstain. Why are we abstaining? The crimes committed by Israel and the crimes committed by Palestine on both sides are equally crimes, aren't they? Aren't they? The blood that flows in the Palestine is the same blood that flows in Israel, isn't it? In it, Let me go my Jamaican way that I learned in southeast London in Surrey. In it, the blood that flows amongst the people of Middle East has no color. The color is no different. It's the same color. Why is it when we reach a point of sanctioning Israel, America, which is not a member of the United Security Council, does not allow Mr. Karim Khan to issue any Israeli members? I just want us. I'm trying to show you very good examples of why there is double standard in this organization called International Criminal Court. Look at that standard. Why are we not arresting every criminal as a criminal? And the pattern is the same in Africa. The pattern is the same in Africa. In Uganda, we took the Luos because they were black. Yes, yes, yes. And Karim Khan saying, no, I produced the evidence. I told you I have the evidence. I have all the files of Ocampo when he investigated under both of them. So let's put them, if you say no, we put them in the public. I will throw them in the public for the people to find out whether there was criminality on all sides. Why did we go to Bosnia and bring the Serbs against Croatians, Bosnians against Serbs, Macedonians, Albanians? They are all in the International Tribunal of Yugoslavia. Why do we bring one side from Democratic Republic of Congo? Show me one soldier, one commander of the Congolese army, one commander of the Congolese army of DRC, 150,000 men, their commander who is in the court. Show me. Mr. Karim Khan, show me one commander of the Congolese army. It's called FRD something. I don't speak French, I speak English. The Congolese army commander, there is no commander of the Congolese army who has been charged by the International Criminal Court. It is only the rebels, Bosco Ntaganda, Thomas Lubanga, and others. What about the army, that of Congo? Didn't it kill? I am asking here, didn't it kill? It killed with water. Their guns had water. Time has come. I was waiting for this moment for Mr. Karim Khan to go to the Security Council today. And as you go, you better try. Maybe you are lucky you get my statement before you go down there. Because I have already worked a network to dilute your statement, and it will be blocked by 3 countries. Don't play with Matsanga. It will be blocked. You will not investigate Darfur again. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for a shutdown, an international academic shutdown, scholarly, to decide who is the best person on all these cases. And that is the blow. You submit your statement now. Mine is already there. The public is going to see. Watch the 21 pages. If something that the government in Khartoum, don't waste much time. Respect the law. Sudan has got the courts. Sudan is able to try Omar Bashir on the soil of Sudan, sentence him, put him on a firing squad if you want to kill him, or exonerate him. Why should Sudan airlift their national to deliver to a court when the same America, the same NGOs from America paid Luis Moreno Campo money to indict Bashir. We all have PA, personal assistants. How can a personal assistant of a chief prosecutor have $17 million? Was it selling cocaine? Was he selling slave trade to Bahamas? Maybe slave trade was going on underwater. Did he have tobacco companies? Which goods are those that a PA of a chief prosecutor has money of 17 million paid by an NGO from New York? And then you go rubbing the statements, not knowing the hard disks are available in the banks. Stupid. Then you turn around to say, oh, these are fake. If they are fake, call me. I was a whistleblower under Article 133. Check it! Check it! I blew up the whistle. Why do you want to kill the whistleblower? The rules for protecting the whistleblower internationally are well known. We cannot keep quiet and die in silence all the time. African heads of state wearing their suits and forgetting what they went through. They went through the torture, the families, the names. You went through the names and you were in the mud. You were put in the mud and vilified of a wrong process. And today here, you just pump and run around the world, telling people you are powerful, yet you cannot solve the problem so that it doesn't occur again. You can't invest even in solving the problem of Africa. Then what African are you? What African are you? I've spoken as an African. Go and change my nationality. Remove the blood if you want. Kill me. But I'm going to stick to the truth. The ICC is not a good place for any African country to be. I swear in the name of God, God is watching up there. African countries should come back and form their own court, and the courts in their own countries. The ICC is a group of diplomats who exchange perfumes in a room and select who has the best perfume from Paris. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move a notch higher. Today is a matter of dissecting the truth. Fellow Africans, Darfur, the peace in Darfur returned almost 14 years ago. There is no fighting in Darfur. The country called Sudan, Darfur is not fighting to separate itself from Khartoum, no. Despite the coup, I'm now talking on the element of peace because Karim is going to tell us lies. I'm preempting his speech. He better react justly. Don't tell lies that there is I've hit you where you cannot manage. You have been talking in smaller things about Matsanga. Here is he. He's here. And I know what you talk every day. Don't worry. Don't tell a lie to the people of the world that there's a war in Darfur. I, Becky, and others were on the plains every day technically. I went to Darfur for the first time to find peace in Darfur. The peace in Darfur has grown, a redemption strategy has been brought in Darfur, which most African countries don't listen to. When I was telling some countries in Africa about redemption strategy, they laughed at me. Now laugh at yourselves. Laugh at yourselves, not me. I told you. You call me names. I told you. Are you not needing it now? You will need it. Some countries in Africa don't like to hear some business. I went to Zimbabwe, my good friend Mnangagwa. I sat with him for 4 hours. He's listening. He's been a friend for 22 years. If he wants to kill the friendship of 22 years, who bothers? Who is David Matsanga? Will you kill my children? Wachana na hiyo. I told him, do a peace process. Revamp Zimbabwe. Do a holistic approach towards the economy. Call this younger small man who makes noise every day, called Chamisa. Call him to order and give him something to do. Redemption strategy, ladies and gentlemen. An expert like me who has read it is the only way forward for any nation in the world. Do you see Konyi in northern Uganda anymore? Hello? Hello? Do you see Konyi? Is he there? Konyi can be anywhere as long as he doesn't touch Ugandans. It's not our mandate. It's not our mandate as Ugandans look for him. He's no longer killing any Ugandan. And if he kills Ugandan, he touches one Ugandan again, we go for him now. But he's not in our territory. He's not in the territory of the people of Uganda. Our mandate was to bring reconciliation. Redemption strategy worked in my country. And anybody who's doing peace process in Africa, listen to this body and the eyes and the mouth. If you don't operate properly, there is a proxy war in the Great Regions. Great Lakes region. 7 years ago, I warned some people that there will be a great war in this region. It's about to come. We better move with the fastest speed so far to bring sanity in our region. Redemption strategy has worked in Sudan, in Darfur, where the Janjaweed used to slaughter people. In all this statement, I die for the victims. They should be given justice. But you cannot give justice by creating injustice. Yes, you are not going to victimize Bashir by faking evidence when Bashir has killed many people, allegedly, but you fake witnesses to fix Bashir in a hotel in Jamena, and you are collecting allowances, dollars, going to build an empire, a shop, a mall, a shopping mall in Argentina. The worst part of what Ocampo was doing was gambling. How can you have a cheap prostitute in the world who gambles money? An addict of gambling. He gambled money, gambled even the assets of FIFA. That's why Sir Blatter almost went to jail because of Ocampo. How can you have Fatou Bensouda, who actually told Yahya Jammeh to slaughter over 200 activists in Banjul? That she is one of the best brains. Which brains, my foot? Which one? Which brains? Mr. Fatou Bensouda, Madam. If you say no, I have the papers and I know where you live. I will go to court. Ask Paul Biya whether he can step in London. Luckily enough, Fatou Bensouda, I forgave you. But you never compensated for my loss. I lost my job in Sky News because of you, Fatou Bensouda and Morino Ocampo. You are not going to enjoy. You will not enjoy your retirement schemes and eat the money until you also remedy the situation that some of us went through. I paid $760,000 to my lawyer. I sold everything I had. Thank you very much, President Mugabe, who gave me some contribution to pay for my lawyer and other people in the world whom I cannot mention. To help me, where would I have got the money to stand in the court to clear my name over nothing? Where? So today, Fatou Bensouda, you enjoy your life with your. The good thing is your husband is very social, so we have forgiven. We have left. He has asked for forgiveness because some of the things you did, Fatou Bensouda, by planting people's, damaging people's names, is not very good. How could you go and charge Gaddafi's sons and you leave the terrorists? Why did you not charge the terrorists who came to invade Tripoli? Who gave them the arms? The French. Because you are also supported by the French. You couldn't charge the terrorists in Congo because France supports Kabila. It supported Kabila. The French could not allow you to take the Congolese army commanders who were also involved in killing Congolese. Hey, 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 this is what you call an organization that Africans are happy. ICC, there is a conference. You find Attorney Generals of Africa holding briefcase. Hey, 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 my Attorney General of Uganda, don't get involved in this. Don't hold a briefcase. Don't waste our money to go to this court. Make Kampala court workable. ICC is just a club of looters, a club of grabbers, a club of procured everything. They procure everything. They don't, they don't investigate. They procure. They come and listen to NGOs. They come and listen to this. Oh, can you tell us? Let me come to the last strand. The document is about to be released, and I will ask my one button. I'm going to press one button, Miriam. The 21-page document is going to come to you, and all of you will have the copy as soon as the Secretary General receives his office on his official, verifiable, and verified Twitter handle, while the hard copy is going by DHL this morning. It will arrive in New York tomorrow. Let me come to this one. Who funds the ICC? George Soros. Where is George Soros' money? Paris. Where is George Soros' money? In Paris. So, George Soros caused us a war between Ukraine and Russia. People fear telling you this. George Soros stole money from Russians, huge amounts, billions of dollars. When he told them he was going to bring Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Kingfisher, King Burger, what? You know the Russians wanted these things. Things were changing from communism to capitalism or semi-capitalism. Mr. went and got the oligarchy, the oil machinery, and took their money. And he went to invest the money in Ukraine. Have you followed the pattern? The British intelligence just gave the report of how far the war is. It has just released the report. Miriam, you saw that? All of you you must have seen now. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to send you the intelligence reports of the British government, official. The Russians targeted the banks. And if you give the Russians a chance, they will target the banks in Paris. Hey, George Soros' banks are in Paris. They are all in Paris. There are about 5 banks. That's why people don't tell the truth. Mimi, whether here, whether there in London, where I am, I will tell the truth where I am now. I'm here in London. I will tell them the London people will not arrest me. They will not arrest me because I've said it. It's because part of the politics exposed internationally, well polished. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not a terrorist. I'm using the brain, the tools of analysis. The British brought education. And they told us to study and use the tools of analysis. Why do you go to school to study international relations when you cannot argue your case out? I studied international relations to the last iota on earth. Which other institution do you want me to study in? I will study and pass the exam. Why don't I use it? How can you tell me you are not a member of the group? Then you are collecting other people to be charged. Which law is that? Which law is that? George Soros, after stealing the Russian money, he put the money in Ukraine. He created the Orange Revolution, which caused chaos in Ukraine. Came to Paris, created 2 banks, about 4 banks that lend Africa, that lend these poor Africans who run there. Poor, gonya. Give, tuko ubaya. Where? Africa is not poor, but this is George Soros' money. President Museveni signed an agreement with George Soros Bank, a French company under Total, said they would dig. Mr. President, next time, sir, allow me to do a due diligence for you, for free, pro bono. I don't know why you are not utilizing me. I'm no longer your enemy. I gave up. I said this peace has returned. If you still want to fight, so right, we are all soldiers, but I will not go to fight. I'm now aged like you are. We have to bring our children and our grandchildren together, sir. Yes, if you want something in Europe, send me. Don't send your officers. They are all corrupt. How could you sign a bank in Paris, which is George Soros? Later on, the social security people, the NGOs said the pipeline from Hoima to Mwanza is going to destroy our environment. Which environment wewe? Unajua environment gani? Iko wapi? Pipe railway na spoil environment? Does it also add some group? What environment? Are there birds there? Are there birds? I know Uganda very well. What environment is there? Which one? The trees? The forest is not in Hoima. Forest is in Jinja. Mabila Forest, which everybody knows. The other forest is again the other side of Albertine area, where there is plenty of oil sitting, which is making everybody itchy. And you know God knows how to starve some people. Then it cut the oil to starve the small country called Rwanda. They were starved. So my Rwanda is being left in the middle. Yet, I am not saying Rwanda, you are starved. God just cut you because you are in the hills and didn't give you the oil. Then he gave the oil to Uganda and Congo around the Albertine region. So when did you know that there was an environment disaster? Today, they have been drilling this oil and looking at it for many years. Then the French lead the onslaught on President Museveni and tell him, we are not giving you the money. They cancel the money. I want to thank President Museveni today for having been able to get money from the Americans. Yesterday, he opened the pipeline. Americans also, I think, I don't know, for the first time, I know the Chinese, actually the pipe they have opened is Chinese. The Americans are still doing proposal, but they are coming as usual. They will not give you this money. If any president in Africa is listening to me, you are seated there waiting for American money. Walaya Mungu, you wait until your term of office is finished. Go somewhere else and look for money. So, ladies and gentlemen, George Soros supports the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court itself discovers challenges, creates chaos in Sudan, for example. In my final conclusion, therefore, Darfur has become is peaceful. Why do you antagonize it? Why do you link ICC with sanctions? 2, what is the rationale of airlifting Mr. Bashir to ICC, yet the cases were fake? The evidence was fake. The people died, yes, but the evidence was fake. I want to land a bombshell. And this bombshell goes to General Burhan. General Burhan and my friend Daglo. You always play with things, Daglo. Daglo, you have always been playing with things since I knew you, Your Excellency. You are now a head of state. I keep my hands off. But you play with a lot of things. If General Buhari, if General Omar Bashir is taken to the ICC, the next lot of people who will be airlifted to the ICC will be General Burhan and General Daglo. You are the commander of Janjaweed. Are you seeing that the general is dying for you? And you want to hand over, you play with this and say you are handing over. The guy will simply say, okay, bring my commanders. Then we sort the case. Am I right? Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. It is with this that I submit, therefore, that the Sudanese government is in a catch-22. And they should not be in a catch-22. You should make a decision. You don't hand over your general to an outside court. Court-martial him for the crimes that is committed. If the law in Sudan said death by hanging, hang him or pardon him. But the generals in Sudan today, General Burhan, you are not safe. General Duglo, you are not safe. You are my friend a long time ago. I was very thin, slender like this. Maybe that's why you don't listen to me anymore. But you have been my friend for a long time. General Duglo, change the behavior. Don't hand over Omar Bashir, because you will be the next person to be airlifted. You are the commander of Janjaweed. He wasn't the direct commander giving instructions. You'll get less sentence, but you'll get more. Don't become an accomplice of a case where you can also end up there. If you want to return Sudan to civilian rule, which should be, I support the AU and I support you to return. But if you are going to return Sudan by swapping people, General Daglo, hapana, hapo iko battle. It's a battle. I therefore thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this statement is going to go public in the next 5 minutes. And I think, Miriam, I've kept time. And that is all the statement on the International Criminal on Sudan. The Chief Prosecutor will give his findings today. I've already read some things from it, saying that he wants to ask for the handover of General Bashir. I say no. and there we shall battle. I will also in the next coming month, I will file applications again in the same court, seeking to say, as a whistleblower, what happened to the bad investigations that Mr. Ocampo and Fetube Sudan presided over. What happened? Can we have justice? Injustice does not bring justice. It is only justice that brings justice. Therefore, you cannot create injustice at the expense, justice at the using injustice. No. I landed the mic by thanking all of you for listening to me and for hearing the truth, but nothing but the truth. The situation of South of Sudan was and continues to be a very delicate situation of a proxy war that could catch the entire Sahara region if we start tackling the bad, using the ICC to tackle some of the issues like handing over. Another coup could come in Sudan who rules it out. Captain generals, others who are very not happy with handing over Omar could overthrow the current government. Who knows? So why do we Africans go on rotating in coups? Thank you very much. If I've made any sense, thank you. God bless you. Back to you in the studio, Miriam. You can give us the news headlines about other people in the world want to know what was on the monitor, what was on what, and that's it. And then we call it a dead end day as I posted the document for people to read.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. Very well said. I don't think we need to add any more of anything on top of what you just said, but perhaps let me just take us through quickly the headlines there. The Star newspaper, life and times of former education CS Professor Magoha, and then just below that, Azimio Top Guns defy Raila en route to recognition. The Standard newspaper, the guitarist who became minister still on Magoha. He passed on yesterday, and Treasury sets out plan to sell parastatals. That you'll find on page 24. The Daily Nation, George Magoha, 1952 to 2023. No nonsense. Former Education Cabinet Secretary, renowned professor of medicine and tough university administrator who did not suffer fools gladly, died suddenly of cardiac arrest last evening, dealing a double blow to a family that was preparing to bury another son, Professor Richard Magoha, this weekend. Indeed, our condolences there. And so let's just look at some other papers from across the continent of Africa this morning. The Daily Monitor from Uganda, this afternoon, actually 18 minutes past noon here in Nairobi. Daily Monitor, key milestone as oil drilling starts. The New Vision, oil drilling starts. That is also the main headline. Daily News from Zimbabwe, time to bury the hatchet. That's what Chamisa is now saying. A Newsday, we are ready for polls, Chamisa says. The Herald from Zimbabwe. President in Senegal for key Feed Africa Summit, and then the Nation from Nigeria, senators, representatives draw battle line with CBN over Naira News, that is the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Daily Trust from Nigeria as well, Buhari chairs 14-man committee as fuel scarcity worsens. Nigeria is in a crisis. The Citizen from Tanzania, Tanzania's top tech players share pathways to success. And the New Times from Rwanda, IMF boss on Rwanda's economic potential climate championship. So that is what we have. And before, maybe, because Wanda is there, perhaps you might want to say something, Doc, from your presentation and the statements that you've made. I think what stood out for me is the double standard that has continued to be exhibited, and of course the examples you've given in situations like Israel right now and what it is doing, and if at all some of these actions do not amount to, the same, charges that say Sudan is being the case in ICC is based on, genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity. Is that not what Israel is doing, and Palestine over there? And also, the U.S. has not ratified the ICC treaty, but is the one who is pushing some of these cases there. So it's very interesting, the double standards, and you've been able to speak on that well. So I don't want to mess that up. So I'll just leave it at that, unless Wanda has something that he would want to add on top of that.
Thank you so much. But indeed, I'll not even add so much insofar as the submission of Dr. Matsanga is concerned. The only thing is that if indeed ICC was a good court meant for an international good cause, then USA could be a member to it. If USA is not a member to the ICC, then it simply tells us that the court is not that good, because USA is a superpower. And if it is a superpower leading the cause, showing the examples to the rest of the world, then they should be the first persons or the first country to take part in this. Number two, Africans should learn to sort their own issues. We love challenges, we love problems, but it's very bad that we get to a point and start submitting our own heads of states. A person whom, whether they made mistakes or not, they played a key role in growing our nations, growing our economy. Therefore, these are persons that we should be very reluctant in easily punishing them or submitting them to such a kind of courts to be punished. Therefore, I wish that we get to a point and realize that we should be able to sort our own messes. Someone who has been a commander-in-chief means he was party to the military, and the military have the court-martial. So if he was a member of the military, then let the court-martial do its work. So I will not want to say much, because the submission was quite in order, perfect. Let the Sudan's government listen to what Dr. Matsanga just told them and come to a realization that they have a responsibility of ensuring that their commander-in-chief, their former commander-in-chief, be tried if there is a reason to be tried under the court-martial, because you are the leader of the military, and the military have their own court-martial. So I submit on that, Miriam.
All right, that's it, Doc. You can close it for us now. Okay. So I don't know if you've lost it, Dr. Matsanga there. Sometimes you do have a bit of a problem with the connection.
I think he's muted.
Okay, Doc, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I had muted. I've unmuted. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, those who have been watching us. Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much, Elvis. That is the seriousness. In the document yourself, you read it. It is very clear, step by step. What do we do here? They reach somewhere, then they link themselves to the sanctions. Then they remove there. They say, "No, give us Bashir. If you don't give us Bashir, why don't you come with one strategy? You want Bashir?" Then he tell the people, remove the sanctions. But we have now killed this country through the sanctions. We are killing them. Why are there demonstrations on the streets of Khartoum? It's because they can't have food, bread. And the bread cannot be got when you are putting a country without foreign exchange. That's where we have gone wrong. So thank you very much, Miriam. I wish you good luck in everything that you are doing, especially your exams. Here we are, let it roll. Let it roll. And I'm determined.
The paper I'm going to do in just a few minutes now is on international law. So very, very timely, very interesting there. So thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless.
All right.
Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you.